Are we on the internet? I believe we are. I've got levels. I think I've got the music turned off. Looks like folks in the chat have appropriately muted, so that's wonderful. Hello again, this is Foghorn with another installment of, actually we're going to do some back to basics academics for this. The 16th of March 2019, or 2949 for those of you that are stuck in the lore, which is awesome. This presentation is part of an ongoing series of academics for the members of the Aurora Republic, the premier role-playing organization in Star Citizen. If you are new to the Aurora Republic or visiting for the first time, let me start by saying welcome. We are glad to have you with us and would love to hear from you if you would like to hear more about us. We are a lawful good organization focused on roleplay exploration and social interaction, and are currently active in recruiting on Spectrum and Discord. We skipped last week because of some travel on my part, and also some horrifically bad time management on my part. So we ended up skipping it due to a severe case of unpreparedness. And so we didn't get to say hello to some of the new folks. We have 2 weeks worth of new members to say hello to, which is awesome. So a Rockhound, Storm, Rookington, Mike Notice, all joined us last week, which was awesome. And then we this week had Grumpy Monkey, which is an interesting way of spelling his name, Grumpy Monkey, because apparently I think he's allergic to vowels. We also say congratulations to the folks who immediately not only joined us, but then immediately managed to shake off their immigrant tag by coming in and taking care of everything, as a good membership should. And which again is Rockhound, Storm, Rookington, and Mike Notice. So welcome to the club, and congratulations on becoming full citizens in the Aurora Republic. That is severe awesome sauce. Okay, 2 other quick announcements. The recruiting drive is basically over. I think we technically said we'd give everybody till midnight tonight, but for any last joinees. But the probability of that happening midnight tonight Pacific time, so in the next 4 or 5 hours, is probably fairly low. So we've got a week. We will announce the winner of the recruiting drive at the full org meeting, which is next Saturday. So mark it on your calendar, socialize it to all of your Aurora Republic friends to make sure that they know that the full org meeting is next Saturday, the 23rd of March at 16:30 Pacific. It is members only, so no guests allowed on that one, because we'll be talking internal biz, and might have something interesting to reveal to you guys there. So make sure you don't miss it. We, of course, will stream it and or record it and upload it in a spot where everybody can, where the citizens of the Aurora Republic, if they do happen to miss it, they can go back and see what was said and what was talked about, and us making fun of them behind their back right in front of them. So the rules of engagement, of course, we are streaming this also on Twitch, so there's about an 8-second delay, as I always say. If you are in both Twitch and the Discord chat, I would suggest muting one of them, the volume, deafening on one of them, so you're not hearing me twice. Which one is up to you, because you're big boys and girl. Tonight we're just going to talk very quickly, and I do mean quickly because it's hardly any slides. I'm just going to do a little prep talk on 3.5. 3.5 is going to be coming out. In theory, the deadline for it is in 15 days. So, the end of March, first day of April. So it is, we know that some variation of 3.5 is out to the Evocati. So, and because we've had so many new folks here in the last couple of weeks, I mean, we've really gained probably 10 or 12 in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And a lot of those being actually completely new to Star Citizen. A lot of people who've played plenty of other video games before, but not Star Citizen specifically, and they're taken to it like ducks to water. But I do want to talk about some of these things that they may have heard kind of whispered in the wind, but not talked to directly. So for the old nuggets in here, this won't take long, I promise. So if you don't mind listening in as well, and that way you can also help our new folks when they have any follow-up questions, as I'm sure they will. So first we're going to talk about this thing that you maybe have heard whispered in the winds called the PTU, the Public Test Universe, which comes in waves. So, and that is, of course, the pre-release testing of the next new patch that's supposed to come out. It happens in a group of waves. Now, officially on paper, it has 4 waves to it. It has the Evocati and then wave 1, 2, and 3. Since I've been playing Star Citizen, which is all the way back since 2.6.3, they've never actually done it in all 3 waves. It usually ends up 4 waves. It usually ends up happening in only 3 waves, or maybe even 2. So it starts with the Evocati test flight, which is invitation only. They all of the Evocati are under a signed NDA, so they won't even tell you that they're Evocati. There is ways to know, but they won't admit that they're Evocati, and they can't talk about it anyway. So if you do figure out that you got a buddy or a bro or a sis here in the Aurora Republic that are Evocati, don't harass them. Everybody affectionately also calls them avocados for the Evocati. Wave 1 on paper is supposed to be the concierge backers. Those are the big whales with all the cash that have stupidly thrown that cash into buying digital starships. And then wave 2 is supposed to be the subscribers, and then wave 3 is everybody. So those kings come out sequentially. So in theory, when 3 weeks to a month prior to the release of the next patch, CIG will send it out to Evocati. That'll be basically, they'll be contacted probably directly. I imagine it's through email. Hey, we're getting ready, and there's obviously going to be they would share some sort of links or whatever to get the Evocati onto the Public Test Universe servers. Public Test Universe is a separate set of servers than the Persistent Universe. Okay, so it's completely separate and firewalled and all that kind of stuff. Once CIG says, okay, Evocati has beat the snot out of this patch, and this new build enough, then to get more numbers, kicking all the bugs and glitches out of the new patch, then they start opening up to the other waves, starting with, like I said, the concierge backers, and then the subscribers, and then everybody. The wave 1 and 2 and 3 PTU folks are not under any NDA. So when the PTU opens up to wave 1, 2, and or 3, then this is where you're going to see all the big onslaught of video and screenshots and all that kind of stuff of the new patch stuff coming out all over the YouTubes and the Twitches and the Instagrams and the Ermagirds and all of the other stuff. So the way it's happened in the past, a lot of times they'll go, hey, it's out to Evocati. Then it'll go, hey, wave 1 backers. And then usually they'll send it to wave 2 and 3 simultaneously. A couple of times they've sent it to 1 and 2. And then a week later, let wave 3 in. And I think the last time Evocati first, obviously. And then they just opened it up to wave 1, 2, and 3 all at the same time. I suspect, and this is nothing more than Foghorn's opinion, but I suspect because it's only 15 days to when the release date is supposed to have happened, and they just now about a week ago got a cut down version of 3.5 out to the Evocati test flight, I suspect that when they go to PTU, open the PTU up past Evocati, it's going to be to all 3 all at once. That's I just have a gut feeling, the math would work. They're not going to have enough time to go, hey, wave 1 and then wave 2 and wave 3. They're just going to go, okay, Evocati is good enough. All right, everybody have at it. So that might happen here pretty soon. So how do you know if it's open for PTU? Okay, so the way you will know if they say, hey, it's open to PTU wave 1 or PTU wave 1 and 2, for example, something like that. How do you know if you're included in that? And that's very simple, but it's not obvious. And that is to go to your account and hit settings. And when you get settings on your account, you'll look over here. Is that not capturing my... Doesn't look like it's capturing my mouse. Okay, anyway, down on the left side of your settings, you will see it is capturing the fact that it's highlighting. Cool. So down the left side tabs, you'll see overview, profile, security, referral program, address, spec, pledge, submit. And then at the bottom, it'll grayed out. It will say public test universe because the public test universe isn't open to me. I am not Evocati. So when you see an announcement on Spectrum, and of course we will duplicate that out into our Discord. Hey, everybody, PTU Wave 1 is open. Go check your stuff. This is where you go to check. And if that public test universe down there at the bottom, right below, I have pledge shipment highlighted right at the moment. Right, it's right below it. If you can't see it on the Twitch for some reason, I think you should be able to. It says public test universe. If that thing is in yellow text, if it's highlighted in yellow text and it'll be clickable, then you'll click on that and it'll take you to another web page that will give you instructions on how to download and everything for the public test universe. Obviously, because it's not running at the moment, I can't walk you through it and show it to you. But when you hit public test universe, that next web page will have a button that will say, copy your account to the PTU. The public test universe servers are totally separate of the persistent universe servers. So when you hit that button, then CIG will copy your account over onto the PTU servers. At that instant, it takes the web page will tell you it take up to 24 hours. I don't think I've ever heard of it taken longer than 5 to 10 minutes for anybody. And they will send you an email when it says, hey, your account has been copied over. And in that email, it will give you links to go download. Let me out. There we go. To go download the RSI PTU launcher. It will look identical to the RSI launcher, but there's an actual separate launcher that will take you to the PTU servers versus the persistent universe servers. You will download that on your desktop, so make sure that your computer's got enough space for it, because it's basically you're basically going to suck up twice as much hard drive space as just the PU at the same time, because you're going to have two copies. You're going to have the PU and you're going to have the PTU versions of the client. And the PTU launcher will take you to the PTU servers. It looks pretty much identically as far as its thing. I could go ahead and try to put in my credentials, but they're not operating for me anyway. So right now, because it's not open to wave 1, 2, or 3. So this would be, it wouldn't go anywhere anyway. So no reason for me to give that a shot for you. Okay. And after that, it's basically follow the directions, and they will give you a new password just for the PTU. It will be different than your normal password. All that will be given to you in the email. You just got to follow directions in the email. It'll be just like downloading Star Citizen for the first time again, because you'll be downloading a whole PTU version of the client. And then you log into that. It is totally different and separate of the persistent universe, and you go in there and you play test, which is usually a lot of fun. It's also even worse and more glitchy and crash happy than the persistent universe, if that's even possible, but it is. Trust me. So the second part of this talk is about the issue council, both for, hey, by the way, I expect wave 1, 2, and 3 PTU is probably going to happen here pretty soon. And, oh, by the way, this is what you should be doing all the time when you're playing Star Citizen, because you're not playing Star Citizen, you're play testing, right? It's the issue council is how you do bug glitch and crash reporting. It's on the RSI website. If you go on that main navigation bar where it says development, you hover over development. When the secondary navigation bar pops down, it says issue council. You click on that and it'll take you right into their bespoke reporting and tracking system. And again, I'll tab out over here and show you how that. So if you're out here on the typical homepage, when you come to RSI, you hover down there where it says development. Secondary bar comes out. You'll see issue council. You click on that, and it opens up into something like this. Now, you'll see two big selectable tabs down at the bottom. One that says Star Citizen Alpha 3 and RSI Launcher. So if you have bugs and crash reporting about the launcher, then that's a separate thing than the rest of the persistent universe. You also have a profile, so I'm actually going to click on my profile first. One of the things that you'll need to do the first time you come in here is you need to go over here into the specs tab, the third tab under my profile, and make sure you put in your personal specs on what's going on, so that way they know what the specs on your machine is. Go back. There we are. If you have a bug to report, They also have a tour you can take that'll walk you through all of this. I'm giving you the cut down quickie version. If you kick open the make a report, it'll open up into an endless, however many rows per page. This is page 1 of 3,324 pages. So I guess if we assume 10 per page, that means there's 33,240 bug reports, glitch reports going on right now that are currently open. Okay, so here's the issue. If there's more than 2 million players, play testers, then there's a very good chance that you aren't the first one to have found this bug. So before you go writing up a new bug report, the first thing you need to do is use the search functions that just highlighted up there, and the filter and sort functions, and go see, particularly the search functions with keywords, see if you can find if there's any reports on what you found already. And then if you do find one, that you can click in there and just make a contribution to it. Somebody else has already reported it before you. You can just basically kick in and just do a contribution, say, me too, me too. So I'm going to open up this one. It says disappearing weapons from inventory. Well, I actually do have had this one happen. Character after carry. There will be all this information that the original person who originally reported it. You can come down here and hit 3 buttons at the bottom under contribute and say, I can reproduce this. Or you can say, hey, I've tried, but I can't reproduce this. And you can say, I think this is an invalid report. You can click on that there. If you say, I can reproduce it, you click on that. You can give them your specifications. Now, I actually play Star Citizen at 2 different locations. I play at my apartment up here in St. Louis, and then I also play at my home back in Tampa. And so I actually have 2 different computers I play on. So I make sure I got which one I'm sending this in about. I can put any comments if I want to. And then if I want to upload images or video, you can do a YouTube URL and then hit contribute. And that's how they track and they do this triage stuff over here. You can also go in and take a look at stuff and help them prioritize. So stuff that they've no longer accepting any more bug reports about because they have so many that they're like, okay, we get it. This is a bug. Now you can come in here and tell them, hey, I think this one is more important than that one, and help them with prioritizing what should be fixed first, or what you think should be fixed first. That's it in a nutshell. You do it that way. And oh, by the way, it keeps tracks of how many reports you've put in. So I've actually successfully found 2 bugs that nobody else had reported yet. I've done 11 contributions and 3 votes. So you actually can see that as far as a playtester, I kind of suck because I don't do a whole lot of playtesting. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is I'm very busy. Number 2 is that I basically am doing a version of playtesting as my profession, just not with a video game, unless you want to consider Flight Simulator's a giant video game. But as a test pilot, I do this professionally. So when I come home and I want to climb into Star Citizen, the last thing I want to do is go write up bug reports. So I'm actually a very, very bad example of a playtester for here. But there's 2 million of us, so I figure everybody else has got it. And of course, you can always add a new report right there. So if I found something new, and I'm convinced, because I've done my search first, that I'm not just re-reporting something that's already been reported, I hit new, I can give it a title, a little up. It'll actually force me to do a check, and then I could continue in and create it. I'm not going to because I don't want to create a new report that just says blah, 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 blah. That's it. I'm basically done. One more parting shot, though. Okay, remember, this is alpha. This is not a video game yet. You hear me say this all the time, but it never stops being true. Second thing is you paid to be a playtester. So if you're getting ticked off, the only person you have to get ticked off is yourself, because you paid good money to play test, not to play. So if you're finding a glitch, you're finding a bug, you're finding a crash, you're having a constant crash and everything, and it's ticking you off and you're getting frustrated, my answer to you is, did you report it? And that's all I'm going to say. Did you report it? Okay, great. Because that's really what you're here to do. So, all right, is there any particular place to post suggestions? I have a ship I think they may need to build. All right, so Merlin asked that question. It's awesome. And the answer is yes, not in the issue council. Issue council is for bug, crash, glitch reporting. But if you go on to Spectrum, if you go on to RSI, robertspaceindustriescom, and you go down into the community tab and go into Spectrum, They have sections in there for making suggestions for things like ships. Hey, features of, hey, it would be cool of. I mean, you can even suggest, whatever, clothing, new guns and weapons, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, they are very accepting with the community's input. But that's it. All right. I'll pause for about 10 seconds because of the 8-second lag on Twitch to give anybody a chance to pop up, unmute, and ask any quickie questions. I don't suspect there will be any, but I'm just going to keep tap dancing here for a few more seconds before I do the outro, and then we'll go fly. I think we're going to go hunting. I think we're going to go searching, do a search and rescue. I'm going to call that good enough. All right. This wraps up this installment of Academics with Foghorn. Hope you found it interesting and helpful. If you have any questions I didn't answer, please feel free to contact me via email and Discord, Spectrum, comment section below, and I will answer it to the best of my ability as quickly as I can. If you're part of the Aurora Public membership and haven't hit the follows and the subscribes on the Twitches and the YouTubes, respectively, then please hit those immediately. Enable notifications so you know when we're transmitting. And if you're a visitor, please feel free to also hit those follows and subscribes, as your feedback really does help us, and we're always striving to improve our content. You can find out more about the awesome organization known as the Aurora Republic at aurorarepublic.space, which is our website. You can also find us on the Spectrum at robertspaceindustriescom/org/aurora-rep, and here on Twitch. You can also find us on YouTube by doing the same thing. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time, and I'm signing off, wishing you a pleasant remainder of your morning, afternoon, and or evening. Good night.